Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Tommy Wave Budget Deck series. Before we get into things, as always, we'll go through our criteria. We don't, for our budget deck series, we don't set any arbitrary dust limits. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the core of a deck, which could be roughly 4 to 6 rares, no epics, no legendaries. And we're going to give you that core so that you can, if you want to invest more dust into it, you can, and hopefully by investing that dust, we have that third point there, a reasonable upgrade path so you can work towards getting a high performance deck, something that you can hopefully take onto the ladder and use it to climb up pretty high. And lastly, and probably leastly, we want to prioritize cards that aren't rotating. Obviously, we're not going to have a rotation for quite a while, so it's not too much of an issue. If you are watching this on YouTube, you would have noticed that we are doing Warrior today. And also, this Warrior deck does not come from myself. I actually saw this this deck this morning on Twitter, coming from Kasai. I do want to thank them. We'll get into that deck in a second. So Warrior is a really tough class to do budget decks on. It was actually the toughest one to do for Kobolds and Catacombs as well. Mostly because after Pirate Warrior was kind of nerfed into the ground, there aren't a lot of really great aggressive warrior strategies. Inherently, it's quite tough with the hero power, not doing anything to progress an aggressive board state or an aggressive game plan. So many warrior decks go the route of control or playing some kind of late game strategy, and usually that involves legendaries because they're quite powerful finishers. But we do have kind of a bit of an in-between in Rush Warrior. So let's take a look at what a kind of Rush Warrior deck looks like. Very kind of mid-rangey game plan. We've got a couple of great one-drops in Firefly and Towncry. Towncry probably being the most unfortunate card that we can't include. A 1/2 that's going to draw us one of our sweet rush creatures. We've got some great tools to control the board in Red Band Wasp, which really punishes cards with low toughness and low attack. Things like Silverhand Recruits, it's very good against because it creates a huge threat that your opponent probably has to sink some amount of damage into. We've also got Woodcutter's Axe, which is great at killing off Fireflies, killing off other problematic early minions, and stopping our opponent from snowballing, whilst also potentially giving us a huge buff on one of our rush creatures. In that chunky mid game here, we've got quite a lot of stuff going on. We've got Frothing Berserkers, which is a must-answer threat. Great follow-up to a Red Band Wasp. Combos really well with Bloodrazor, which is excellent at clearing the board of small minions. Militia Commander, a 5/5 on the turn it comes into play. Great at trading into minions. Great at killing things like Tar Creeper, Stonehill Defender. These minions that are traditionally very good against aggressive decks. And then it transitions into this late game of counters Ashmore to hopefully draw some sweet ones. We can get any of our rush minions, a lifesteal minion, which I don't think we actually have any. Curious that there's no splash here for like the Chupacabra, but also draws a Death Rattle card, which could be our Bloodrazor. I think that's the only Death Rattle card in here. Yeah, just the Bloodrazor. So this is always going to draw us Bloodrazor and a rush minion. Grom, Scourge Garrosh, Lich King, very typical kind of late game finishes for this kind of deck. So that was like an Ashmore version. I also found this version off of HS Replays, which forgoes the Ashmore, I believe, for the Cobalt Scalebanes, which I find quite interesting. I think Scalebane's probably the correct choice over Fungal Mancer here, just in that 5-drop slot. But this is a way for us to capitalize on having a bunch of board presence in the early game. We drop the Scalebane. If we get, you've all played against Scalebane before. If your opponent starts getting off a couple of triggers, the game can be really tough to come back to. So, once again, seems like we're doing this quite a lot lately. We need to take this mid-range to very mid-rangey strategy and adjust it to be quite budget, which means adjusting it to be aggressive. And Kasai, who we got this deck off of, did a great job at doing that. So we'll take a look at the core. It's a really small core of the deck. This is really just the most premium cards in the archetype. Firefly, phenomenal 1-drop. We've got that like we were talking about, the 2-drop kind of combination of Red Band Wasp punishing those low power, low toughness minions, and Woodcutter's Axe punishing the rest of them, leading into Rabid Worgens, Core Chronolites, Militia Commanders, this kind of thick mid-game here. If it was me building this deck, I probably would have included Frothing Berserker in here as the kind of the third rare. And as you saw, most of those lists were playing Frothing Berserker. But Kasai went on a bit of a different route here, instead choosing to include more of a weapons package, more of a weapony pirate package. So we've got the Diamol in here and the South Sea Deckhand, which is a fantastic 1-drop that we get access to when we play a bunch of weapons. A 2-1 with charge. Upgrade is the third rare here, which can go quite well with our Arcanite Reaper, or even just our Fiery War Axes here. It's unfortunate that we have lost N'Zoth's First Mate, as that was one of our best cards at combating opposing early games. But Upgrade can do a fine job early on in a pinch if we need to clear some small minions. Otherwise, we can use it to get extra hits out of our weapons. Bloodsail Raider, another card that we get, we can really take advantage of with this weapons package. One of a Hench Clan Thug here. This is a card that I'm assuming there's only one of because it's a bit of a... it's not as good as it is in Rogue, or it might not be the best 3-drop, but it is a 3-drop. I'm keen to see how this one goes, whether it would be better as something like a Tar Creeper, or maybe with a bit more dust, it could be the Frothing Berserker. The Frothing Berserker that we've always dreamed of. Down here, we've got some Spellbreaker. Fungalmancer is the 5-drop of choice, which, as I was talking about there, I think Scalebane was better for the previous list. Fungalmancer might be better here because we have more 1-drops, so we're more likely to get, actually get the Fungalmancer in the middle and get the full buff, whereas the other decks were with less low-drop creatures. They're more likely to just have the one minion that they want to pump up, and in those situations, Scalebane's more resilient as well. So probably correct choice there. One Reckless Rocketeer playing the poor man's Leroy. So we're going to jump in, play some games with this. Once again, this deck comes from Kasai. You can hit them up over on Twitter or on Hearthpwn. All the links will be in the description to this video. I do want to thank them for this list, which I'm really excited to play. Before we do jump into some games, one thing that I did notice when I was taking a look at all these decks, and talking about kind of the strength of aggressive decks, and why play one aggressive deck over a different one, especially when they share so many cards. One interesting thing with this list, the way that Kasai has built it, is that other than the Diamol, the Firefly, Bloodsail Raiders, and this Hench Clan Thug, every single card in this list has the potential to immediately impact the board the turn it comes into play. So that's, these charge and rush minions, these weapons being able to attack the turn they come down, this Spellbreaker, silencing something, Fungalmancer, buffing things up. So that's kind of one of the strengths of playing Warrior versus a different archetype. So we'll jump into some games and we'll start. Alright, we are here with a game. It's Rogue.
None can escape my fury.
Interesting. So what are we looking for here? His Diamol seems pretty good. Red Band Wasp could be interesting. We don't want this Henge Clan Thug without any weapons though. So let's send those back. Hope our mole does the job. This upgrade could be great or bad. Style Mole is at least a bit harder for them to remove than most minions. They're gonna put a damage on this Firefly. Then the question becomes, do we upgrade and trade in? Or do we coin this Worgen? And given the kind of texture of our hand that it's now become quite expensive, I think we'll just get a little bit of advantage here. Hopefully use this to trade a bit more efficiently, a bit more effectively. It's not the ideal target for this Spellbreaker, but hopefully it makes things a little bit awkward for them. Like, they can just trade in, and taking 4 to the face, then they have, they kind of have the initiative.
Ha, this guy's toast.
So 7. Going face. Real curious about that one. Huh. How does this deckhand change things? Not by a lot, I don't think. I think it's just a minion that we get to play this turn. These two doing the tango there, swapping places. I don't know who I'd prefer as a dancing partner. The South Sea deckhand, who clearly, I mean, look at that. Look at those pants. Clearly knows how to, I don't know. What's a dance? What's a dance that people do? He knows how to Macarena. Or the Rabid Worgen, who's, you know, a little bit gnarled, but she probably goes hard. Like, probably loves a good rave. Oof. 8 to the dome. Plus this 3 here. No way they trade 4 damage into these Fireflies, right? The plan here is that they're not going to trade such a valuable dagger into these Fireflies. They're just they try and like shore up the board, and then we can hit this Fungal Mancer. SI7? Vile Spawn. Okay. They are just gonna go face. Wow. I do kind of want to hero power this turn though. Definitely an interesting matchup here. Do we have to be kind of concerned that they haven't used any like shadow steps? We can attack here, then go like Red Band, Wasp, Fungal Mancer, and kill this. We definitely die to Leroy plus Shadow Step. I think we die to Leroy Shadow Step regardless, because if we attack here... Yeah, so we'll make the play that's kind of... I think got... a little bit more like late game. So we could have also played the Rocketeer. And traded into the 1-2, but... And see if they wanted to dagger us down. Hopefully this Red Band Wasp is making things a little bit awkward for them. We don't want to see like Leroy, Vilespine. You know, an SI7 here is pretty good. Let's see if we're just dead. Seems that way. No, I'm not dead. Super curious though. Guess like just Fungal Mancer Hero Power is our best line.
Mushroom worms. Mushroom
So if they had SI7 already, we'd be dead. So like, what is this card? This is a fire. This is a elemental. This is what they drew. What is this card? Now, I don't know why you'd make that kind of the kind of play that they did.
I will silence this.
That makes sense. I guess they were hoping we wouldn't hero power or hoping for a good top deck. This is just like lethal though, right? I hope it is. 14. 19, yeah. You have some combination of lethal. So, interesting game. I like how that played out. Like, they had this for quite a while, which kind of slowed down their draws. It was a little bit clunky. We drew every single... everything that cost 5 or more in our deck. And one of the 4 drops, so... Just so they know that it's definitely a budget. Oh! Got him. Nice win. So I think that game kind of was a good look at both the upside of playing these kind of Rush Warrior decks, in that, you know, our opponent, we were really trading back and forth quite a lot with our opponent.
Watch your back.
Victory or death.
I think we keep the wasp here. Yeah, it was good because we were trading back and forth, but you did kind of see the downside that sometimes you don't want to be getting onto the board immediately. Sometimes you just prefer a bigger static body. You know, that the Fungal Mancer was feeling a bit awkward. We had the multi-weapon draw as well that we had to kind of space out in order to get full advantage off of it. Though that could just be the matchup, maybe, because I think Rogue also kind of is trying to compete on the same level as us in just having that instantaneous board presence between the hero power and direct damaging things, SI7s, Vile Spines to murder things. Though if we didn't have a silence for that Tar Creeper, we would have been so behind. Actually, like, incredibly behind. Alright, let's see if they want to take 4. Take 4 for the pleasure.
Ha! This guy's toast.
Yep. It's pretty good.
I'm fast and furious!
Maybe we should have gone for the weapon there. Good face. Prep. Prep Shiv. Is this like Mally Rogue or something? Or is this just like a random tech Shiv?
Halt! Who goes there?
It's a good boy. Beautiful pig's son.
I wonder.
X marks the spot.
Not feeling great about this.
Welcome to my web.
That feels alright though.
What now? Mushroom power!
Die, landlubber.
I think we might be able to shift gears here. It's going to be real curious to see what our opponent does. was good. That was real good.
For the war chief! For Hell's Greed! Mushroom punch!
Yeah, that turn was brutal. Interesting that our opponent's kind of slowing down here. Yeah, I think that the fact that like when we drop our guts here and spew everything onto the board, we're like making a weapon and summoning some weaker minions, whereas when our opponent was doing it, they were playing some well-statted minions. I haven't even had any of these ambushes go off. But I need like a fungal or something here. Well, it's not too bad.
Defend the gates! To me!
We just have to kind of accept we're dead to like Leroy Shadow Step regardless.
Well played.
So taking the extra face damage rather than trading in the Firefly. I guess now we were just dead to Leroy Dagger, but yeah.
Incredible.
I think this Leroy was going to kill us 100% of the time. But we could have taken the line to try and survive through it. Alright. Let's try the third one. So 2 rogues in a row. So they were very different. I guess I think that was probably some kind of Miracle Rogue variant. I haven't seen preps in, obviously not in Odd Rogue, but have seen a lot of preps in Tempo Rogue lately. Alright, Hunter. Are you going to try and be Spell Hunter? Or Mid-Range Hunter? Rabid Worgen's going to be really good against Mid-Range Hunter. And no bueno against Spell Hunter. I think on the coin, I think we'll keep this. Ooh. Icky. I guess that makes me lean more towards Spell Hunter. Great. Kind of bit of a risky play there. Obviously, if it was a 2-4 or something, pretty bad. But I kind of want to.
To my side.
Ooh. I just want to deploy these weapons. This next turn's going to be a little awkward. I would assume. Getting some armor ups in here is going to be pretty valuable. Hey there, mate. How's your weekend? Weekend of not playing Magic? Or did you manage to? Did you succumb to the sickness? Ooh, those flanking strikes. Slept at 10:30 last night. Nice. Body punishing you for waking up for going to sleep at 10:30. That's weird. I don't know. I think these days my body punishes me just for sleeping. So. Ooh, if I could get a blood cell raider here, that would be just dandy. Not what I asked for.
Mushroom power in your face!
No. How frustrating. As we had to make the play though. I guess we could have like attacked in first. No. Nothing really feels good.
Mushroom power! I'm fast and furious!
Can we set up like a 2-turn lethal?
What now? Job's done.
Alright, let's see if they have the kill command. How was my weekend? My weekend was busy. I had a PVTQ on the Saturday. 30 people, which was good. Top 8 went really long because there was a bunch of blue-white. And on Sunday, was it at Ringwood? The 13-person modern event. Alright, so let's take a look at this deck. We went 1-2, which was not ideal, but I think we did really get to see a bunch of the strengths of the deck. We can get onto the board pretty quickly. There were just a couple of those really, unfortunately, clunky draws where we just, like, you know, the Rabid Worgens weren't going to be trading well on board. They're kind of just, like, overcosted Frostbolts in a way. Overcosted Dark Bombs. Where we were drawing, like, multiple weapons, which kind of sucked. But overall, I think the feel of the deck is correct. One thing I might want to switch around is these Fungalmancers for Scalebanes, or maybe like a 1-1 kind of mix of them. Just a Scalebane being a better proactive threat in a way that if there's an empty board, like Scalebane 1-drop is a better play than like Fungalmancer 1-drop, if that makes sense. And a lot of those, you think about those rogue games that we were playing and how useful it would be to just have a big statted minion on the board. So, yeah. Other than that, I think it was really good. This is a fantastic budget deck and a great way to build yourself up into a fine warrior deck. Yeah, let me know if you liked it. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can hit me up over on Hearthpwn here on YouTube, or the best place is on Twitter, at Tommy_Wave on Twitter. Once again, big thank you to Kasai for posting this deck up over on Twitter, and you should definitely check them out. I've covered a couple of their decks before. Yeah, until the next one, hope everyone has a fantastic day.